It won't go away. If anybody can hear me, I'm sorry you can't. If you can't see me, it's Ray from the. There we go. I got a slow connection. I don't know. Welcome to the Horror Syndicate Horror Movie Massacre. I don't know what to even do about my internet anymore. It's just been a shit show. And they're, oh, it's good. Let me give you these things that don't work. Anyway, welcome to the show tonight. We're going to be discussing a subject that's near and dear, the Universal monsters, and might have to have Seth do all the image stuff and Hammer Horror monsters, since everything's running so goddamn slow for me. So I was going to do some kind of fun, little whatever, what have you, but my internet's being really slow and stupid, so I'll have to get Seth in here right away to save my ass.
What's up,
Seth? What's going on? Is it freaking out, or is it stable? What the hell's going on here?
No, you're a little slow and breaking up a little bit.
Perfect. I'm going to restart this thing. You go on and start. Just talk about something. I'm going to restart this stupid piece of shit.
Okay. So while Ray is trying to figure out his connection issues, how is everyone doing? If anyone is watching, let us know what you think. Do you have a preference of either the Universal monsters or the Hammer side of it? I know for me personally, it's a little tough because I actually like both quite a bit. Grew up on Universal monsters, and I discovered Hammer a little bit later in life. I think it may have been the opposite for Ray, if I remember correctly. But huge fan of both. And speaking of Universal monsters, Thursday night, me and some buddies were hitting the road. We're gonna take a trip to a theater that's about an hour away, and we are going to be watching the 1941 Wolfman on the big screen, and I am super excited for that. A couple years ago, this same theater played a double feature of the original Mummy from 1932 and The Bride of Frankenstein from 1935 back to back, and me and my girlfriend went to it, and it was just amazing. Like I've always thought like the original Mummy was like probably like my least favorite Universal monster, and seeing it on the big screen, it just like it completely like it I don't know, it just completely like sort of like changed my perspective on it. So it was great seeing those two on the big screen a couple years ago, and of course the Wolfman being my favorite Universal monster. I am super excited for this Thursday night to go check it out on the big screen. It's going to be an awesome time. Check your local theaters in case it's playing there. Ray, how's it going, my friend?
I guess we'll see.
You seem to be coming through better.
Yeah, as a rule, I generally restart this before the show starts, but my daughter was using it, and I guess she did not get them. So, yeah, I'm excited for you. Very excited for you. I think that's really cool.
Is your theaters is your nearest theater not playing anything like that, or
not really? Like I looked, and there's not really anything exciting. And the one thing I saw, I can't remember what it was. I still regret not going and seeing Candyman a couple of years ago. Back when it was hard as hell for me to get people to watch my kids so I can go enjoy a movie or something like that, because I don't go out and do, party or any bullshit like that. I like seeing movies, and it's always been hard for me to go see movies until my kids got to the age where I can just leave them home. Casper is playing.
Do you not have any like Regal or anything nearby?
No, I don't know. There's no Regal close to me as far as I know.
Oh, okay, because that's the theater I'm going to. That's like an hour away from here. is a Regal, and they do those Fathom events. And like literally, I missed American Werewolf in London. My buddy Mike sent me the things saying that they were playing that, and then I was telling my other friend Josh about it, and then I just looked and I was like, I saw this like super stacked schedule for this entire month, and I'm like, shit. So I wrote down everything, and me and him narrowed down because obviously we're not going to travel an hour each day to go see awesome movies. So we picked one per week. So last week was Prince of Darkness, which was amazing on the big screen, by the way. Just John Carpenter on the big screen is just phenomenal. And then this week is The Wolfman, and then next Friday on Halloween, Halloween 3, Season of the Witch.
Yeah, that's really cool. Um, Definitely wish I could see Season of the Witch and Prince of Darkness. So I'm a little jealous about that. But
Yeah.
if I could like pick, there's films, and we're going to talk a little bit about some of them tonight that I'll never get to see on screen, and they're the Hammer films. I have a feeling that some of the Universals may swing back around at some point because The Mummy was playing here a couple years ago, but I really had no interest in seeing that.
Well,
Uh,
it's funny because when you were gone, I talked about that. How like
yeah.
a couple years ago, they played The Mummy and Bride of Frankenstein back to back, and like
Mhm.
I went into it being like, okay, whatever, I'll go see it. But like The Mummy is like one of my least favorites. But for some reason, seeing it on the big screen, I have like a newfound appreciation for it. So now it's like oddly like I can put it in and enjoy it now. I don't know why it had that effect on me, but it was just super cool seeing 1930s films on the big screen. You know?
Yeah, I guess I wish I maybe a little would have gone and seen that, but at the same time, I've never really cared for that movie. It's kind of long, drawn out, and boring, in my opinion.
Well, the
Uh,
sequel's better.
the sequels are better. Once they get the Karis, they're a little bit better, except for a couple of them. But like, I would love to see Dracula, of course. I'd love to see a double feature of Frankenstein and Bride of Frankenstein. If they were able to pull off Son of Frankenstein, I'd be in heaven.
Yeah.
But like some of these Universal or Hammer films, like Curse of Frankenstein, The Horror of Dracula, those will never, more than likely, never be in the theater. And
I would
that would be the tops for me. Because I've
dude.
seen a lot of horror movies in the theater, like The Exorcist, Rosemary's Baby, Jaws, Night of the Living Dead. A lot of them in the theater already. So
Well, I would kill to see Curse of Frankenstein
yeah.
on the screen.
So I'm gonna pull you off the screen for a second and make me the main because I just want to show off a couple things since we're talking about. Uh, well, it's you. How'd that happen?
Hello, everyone. My name is
There we
Razor.
go. So yeah, so I'm a big action figure collector. If you didn't know that, I know you know, Seth. A couple weeks ago, I was able to get myself Christopher Lee from
Oh, that's cool.
NECA or NECA, and it was on sale, but they're $35, I think, which is pricey for an action figure, but I love it, and I figured I'd show it off since we are talking about Hammer, and he stands in my right by my Hammer Dracula movies, but I got this in yesterday, which is Van Helsing.
Dude,
I got this for $20 because I had $5 off and it was on sale. But it's like the Dracula box can't was fantastic. This is just as good.
yeah.
It yeah, I love it. I'm probably God. I don't like opening stuff for some reason, but I will open this at some point. But I just got it.
I mean,
It's
that's the best Van Helsing.
yeah, absolutely. And it's got candlesticks. So I mean, you can see the picture on the back. So you know what I'm gonna do. Um,
they,
you
they,
have
they
to.
should make a figure of him that jumps up and pulls curtains.
That would be cool. I'd buy that.
Yeah.
Um,
I buy
But
that for
yeah,
you.
I just wanted to show those. Oh, weird. I just wanted to show those off because I was really like stoked to get those. And anyway, hello to everybody out there. Sorry for my shaky opening.
Well, you're
Um,
coming through a lot better now, man.
Good. Yeah, like I said, I need to restart this. I thought I told my daughter to do that, not that she's to blame. But yeah, so like I said, we're going to be talking about Hammer, or our Universal monster movies, and some Hammer movies. Mostly the ones that are not similar, but like Dracula. There, and we'll mention some of the sequels too because they all both franchises kind of go off in their own direction when it
Mm.
comes to the sequels. Which whatever. Uh, but I also have like because I'm not exactly sure how it happened, but Universal, of course, made all these great movies back in the 1930s and 40s and into the 50s. Uh, and like here's the Mummy, which we just spoke about.
Mhm.
By the way, one of the most seductive posters ever. Look at her. But
Well, until you look closely at her face.
yeah, I don't want to look at her face. She's not very pretty. But yeah, so and when I meant seductive, I meant Emotep, but whatever.
Oh, okay, I got
Yeah,
you.
yeah. So like we got this in 1932, and it was fine or whatever. And of course, the Mummy is forever known as one of the classic monsters. And then of course, in 1959, Hammer did their own version, and of course, guess who played the Mummy? Seth, any guess?
Gee, I wonder. Uh, that guy that played Dooku.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So Christopher Lee, who played all three of the four main monsters when it came to Hammer.
And
But
well, the best part is like his version, if I remember correctly, was Karis.
it was, I believe, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not fond of either Mummy movies, to be honest. That's why I didn't add them to the what we want to talk about. And mostly it's Dracula and the Wolfman and Frankenstein's monster movies of both studios.
Yep.
And we'll talk. We're not going to like spend a ton of time on these, and we'll get into some of the sequels. Added a couple of the sequels on here. Just it's weird seeing them all mixed up like this.
Yeah.
Yeah, but yeah, we're gonna kind of like compare and contrast a little bit because while they're the same characters, they're very different movies. Because Hammer, for instance, with Dracula and the Frankenstein, the early movies, that are supposedly based off of the novel, the Bram Stoker's novel, or Bram Stoker. Uh, Universal had rights to a lot of the content, and Hammer had to make a bunch of changes, like Lucy and Amina are flip flopped, and
Yeah.
all the men are molded into one guy. It's just, and there's no Renfield at all in the Hammer movies. Alfred from Batman
Yeah.
also plays Harker, which I believe he's an amalgamation of all of those guys, like Quincy and
No,
Arthur
he doesn't play
Holmwood.
Harker. Harker was in the beginning.
That's right. So he plays, yeah.
He plays
So
Arthur.
he's almost like the Renfield, also in a way, but he goes
Yeah.
straight to Dracula's castle to kill Dracula. He's in the know already. So anyway, yeah. Let's start with the 1931 Dracula, if you don't mind. Let's get into this a little bit, and then we'll get into. He plays Arthur Holmwood, doesn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah, but he's like a mixture of all three of those characters and Harker, because Harker, we'll get into it. It's the horror of Dracula is really strange, but I love it.
Yeah.
So the 1931 Dracula movie, of course, with Bela Lugosi, who just turned like 138 or some shit recently. His birthday, we semi celebrated in the Horror Syndicate. First of all, the look of Dracula alone is very iconic because from here on out, this is what like the classic Dracula. Like you're gonna wear a Dracula costume, you're gonna wear a tuxedo basically and a cape, right?
And
So
not to mention like any like parody or whatever or a tribute. It's always like the Bram Stoker or not Bram Stoker. It's always the Bela Lugosi uh, version that people kind of always go to.
yeah, I mean, and it started with Lugosi in this movie. So I'm not sure how to cover this because I know we've talked about some of these movies before, but I mean, this movie is a very stripped down version of what Bram Stoker wrote. And while I do love this movie. It is very. It feels like a stage play in very many ways to me. What
Well,
do you
yeah,
think about that?
well, because that's actually very accurate. So,
Yeah.
um, like this particular film is more so based off the stage play. Actually, it's like the credits even mention like it's a screenplay, but it's based on the stage play by whoever wrote that stage play. Um, so it's more faithful to that than it is to uh, Stoker's novel. And I mean, I think both, both this and, um, of course, Horror of Dracula, they both take liberties. Even
Oh
in this,
yeah.
Seward is Mina's father in this. Uh, there is no Arthur. Uh, Quincy seems to get the shaft in almost every adaptation. Don't know why. I like that character, but
I don't know. He's in Francis Ford Coppola's movie though.
hmm
He's actually one of the cooler characters too.
yeah.
But I do like this movie a lot. It's not my favorite Dracula movie. Actually, it's probably my third favorite Dracula movie overall when it comes to mainline Dracula. And I'm not talking about Dracula Untold or anything like that because that doesn't really follow. It's a different movie. But the differences between this and the Horror of Dracula are pretty extreme. I mean, I don't know if Hammer was out to remake the movies or make their own thing anyway. But like I said, Hammer like for copyright reasons they were not able to do what Universal did. They had to do their own things because of that. I know they took liberties, and why wouldn't you anyway? Because like when the Horror of Dracula came around, I I'm not sure how the rights went because Dracula right now is
Public domain.
what what
Public domain.
yeah, public domain now, so anybody can do whatever the fuck they want with them, like make a comic. Um, but yeah, like back then, I guess Universal held the rights to Dracula, and they really hamstrung what they could do with this movie because Christopher Lee, one of the reasons it took him so long to come back and he wouldn't come back for the sequel was because he wanted to do something closer to Stoker's novel, and he never really got the chance. They kept promising the world, and they said that it would put people out of work if he didn't come back to make sequels and shit. They really manipulated him to come back to be Dracula.
Yeah.
But I don't know. There's something about Bela Lugosi is he's a creep in my opinion in Dracula, but he's very romantic. Christopher Lee is a menacing force when it comes to being Dracula. He plays him very different.
hmm
This is my opinion, but especially like when Harker arrives, he takes like 3 steps at a time going up the steps, not like one at a time like humans do.
hmm
Plus, also Christopher Lee knows how to wear a cape. You know what I mean? Like he fucking like he flourishes when he has a cape on.
Yeah.
So, but anyway, I I think what I wanted is get your thoughts on these movies because we've talked about them in passing and stuff, and our love for them. First of all, which one do you prefer? Which like
Oh man, so it's really tough, right? Because I love both. I think I I do have a bias because of my love for Universal. Goes back to like literally being a young little lad, and my dad rented the VHS of Dracula, and I've seen it so many times. And then when I got the the VHS back in the '90s. I watched it over and over again. Um, and it's hard to choose because I love both. Like, um, Todd Browning's film from 1931 is, the film that, I'm probably the most familiar with because I've seen it so many times. Um, and it's special in its own way as a film from the 30s. But then you get to the horror of Dracula, and it's a completely different beast. Um, you know, it's not really it's at a point where I don't think that they had to deal with the motion picture production code, but it was definitely it came out when that was kind of going away. So they got to be a little bit more violent, a little bit more cleavagey, and
Mm.
sensual. And I think of the two, I think Horror of Dracula is the better film. Again, both take liberties. Neither are really anywhere close to Bram Stoker's original novel. Um, but there's something about Horror of Dracula that I love. Um, one, as much as I love Edward Van Sloan in as Van Helsing in the original, uh, Peter Cushing is just like my Abraham Van Helsing. Uh, and I just like everything that they did with it. I thought it was very effective, like more so in Horror of Dracula, like the scenes dealing with Mina or Lucy or whatever. Yeah, and then Alfred being in it, and like he was very good in the film. Um, so it's tough for me to say. It's like I have like this bias. I have this because a long, deep love for the Universal monster films. I'm in my 40s now. It's been like nearly 40 years worth of watching these. Um, but also, Horror of Dracula is just a spectacular film uh, with an amazing ending. So it's tough to choose.
An amazing ending. Yeah,
Yes.
I agree with you. The ending's so good, and I feel like both are kind of a sign of their time anyway. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
for anybody who doesn't know, the ending of the Horror of Dracula, it's that face off with Van Helsing and Dracula. Like, most of us know that Van Helsing is the vampire hunter and Dracula is the bad guy, of course. Well, they're fighting, and Van Helsing runs across this crazy long table after he's got Dracula on the ropes with the candlesticks cross, and he pulls the curtains down and just hits Christopher Lee's Dracula with some fucking sunlight, and it's marvelous. And the
It,
effect for 1958 is really good of him like turning to dust slowly.
yeah.
Got to give it up for them for that doing that. Yeah, I
Well,
do think
I will say too. Sorry to interrupt you, but it's more of a satisfying ending. Like
it
the
is. It is.
the the thing that always kind of frustrates me about rewatching the old Universal stuff is how abrupt the endings are.
Mhm.
And it just wasn't satisfying. Horror Dracula has a completely satisfying ending.
Yeah, I agree. So one of the things I wanted to talk about also, the strength of the Hammer movies, in my opinion, are also found in the sequels, because we didn't really get Lugosi in a Dracula sequel. We got Dracula's Daughter, I believe, in 1936, and I'm not fond of this movie. It's kind of boring. I hate to say that. What do you think?
Yeah, so it's like one of those ones where it's like I thought it was kind of boring. I thought it had good ideas in there, and then I just keep sometimes I go on this kick where I'm like going down a rabbit hole on YouTube
Hmm.
with other people covering this stuff, and I keep hearing it's brilliant and ahead of its time. Um,
I don't see it though.
I got to give it a fair shake, but
Yeah,
uh, I've always preferred the next film. Uh, yeah,
yeah. Son of Dracula is pretty good. We've got Lon Chaney Jr. playing Alucard.
Kind of a heartbreaking ending.
Yeah, I agree with that. It's got a lot to it. It's there's it's some of it's silly though, but you've got the shooting scene. You've got oh, excuse me, that was heartburn. And a text message. But shit, what was I saying? Oh,
Uh,
the reveal of his name's not Alucard. It's Dracula. I love that scene. It's so goofy. But I think one of the strengths of this movie is it's got a lot of charm. It's very a charming movie, and I think that a lot of that is Lon Chaney.
oh yeah, for sure. Lon Chaney is just awesome.
Yeah, but I like it. It's just not the thing with Christopher Lee. First of all, there's the brides. I forgot to get an image of the brides of Dracula, which it's more of a Van Helsing vehicle, if you
Mhm.
will, and Peter Cushing shines as he always does. Uh, and we talked about it. I don't know if we mentioned it last week or some other time. The carterizing of the bite mark scene is so good.
Yeah,
Sorry, Ugh. Sorry, but yeah. So, but we didn't get Christopher Lee because he didn't want to come back. It took, I think, 8 years for him to come back. I think no, it wasn't that long. Prince of Darkness came out. I can't. I think it was. I feel like it was 66. I think
it
I'm
was.
wrong.
Yeah, it
Was
was
it
66.
66?
I
So
believe it
that
was 6.
yeah, and a lot of people think Dracula Prince of Darkness might be the best sequel, but it's okay in my opinion. I picked two out of the what five. There's Taste the Blood of Dracula. There's Dracula's Risen from the Grave. There's The Scars of Dracula. Satanic Rites of Dracula. There and then of course Prince of Darkness. There's six of them, I think. I picked two out, and I want to get your opinions on them. Uh, I picked out Taste the Blood of Dracula. I like this one, and this is the one, of course, where you got the wealthy businessmen who are living a life where they can't be satisfied, so they go to these like whorehouses and shit like that,
Mhm.
and eventually they meet. Oh God, what's his name? Anyway, Dracula's servant, because at the beginning of the movie, this guy is able to get Dracula's ashes, his red ashes or powder or whatever it is,
Was
and
his name
they're
Paul?
probably. That's the fun thing about it. I forgot about that. All of them except for the Horror of Dracula have a character named Paul. Uh, but this one in particular is just it's kind of silly. It's kind of fun. But he offers them like the the ultimate. I don't know. Whatever by drinking Dracula's blood, and they're able to bring Dracula back, and shenanigans ensue. What do you think about? Do you remember this one?
I'm trying to remember this one. Is this the one that involved like Dracula and ice, or am I thinking of a different one?
Are you talking about the federal agents?
No, this is before their time. Wasn't there like something with like I could have sworn there was something to do with like
Where he gets trapped in ice?
yeah.
No. This one, God, they all fucking bleed together. I hate to say it. I
I
think this is the one where he falls on the cross at the end.
Okay, because it
Yeah,
sounds
because
vaguely familiar when you're talking about like all the wealthy businessmen.
yeah, so that's the biggest takeaway from this is all the debauchery, with the wealthy businessmen,
Yeah,
and then the drinking of Dracula, really. It's I like it. It's one that I go to a lot, and yes, of course, there's a Paul, and it's not bad. The one I like better is Dracula's Risen from the Grave, which I think it came out in 1968, and this one is really okay. So I don't know how well you remember any of these. Now that I hate, I'm not trying to be a jerk, but this one it has a Paul. I think most of them have a Paul, but this one, first of all, they find this Dracula's been dead for a while. They find a girl in, I think it's the tower of his castle, and she's got bite marks on her neck. Okay, and the Monsignor, they're worried that Dracula's back. Anyway, so the Monsignor comes back, and Veronica Carlson's in this one, and Paul is an atheist, and Veronica Carlson's uncle is the Monsignor or something like that, and he has to get over his atheism to beat Dracula, is what happens in
Oh
this one.
yes, yes. No,
Yeah,
I really like this one. This one's really good because I
yeah,
remember there was like this kind of like almost like tense scene right
hmm
between him and the father or something like that.
yeah, and yeah, they recite the Lord's Prayer, and then Dracula once again goes into dust. But the great scene is when Paul crosses himself, and he's accepted God. I mean, I'm not a religious guy, but I love that. I thought that was great.
Hmm.
Uh, yeah, this is probably, in my opinion, the best sequel. Dracula's Risen from the Grave. Plus, it has a great poster. It's a picture. One of the posters. It's a picture of a woman's cleavage with a band-aid on her neck, and it says Dracula has risen from the grave. And down below it says obviously. So it's probably the best one. But there's some dumb deaths. Dracula AD 1972. He gets impaled by a wagon wheel at the very beginning of the movie, and then flash forward to one of Van Helsing's um, descendants or whatever, and it's 1972, and he's got to be brought back by one of his cronies who got his powder blood again. Whatever, they're all weird, and I think that one of them he dies, but because of running water.
Yep.
They're all strange. The way he dies. There's a thorn bush in one of them. It's supposedly in the lore, but I think those
The
are the
running
best
water
two.
one. That's the one where he gets trapped in ice, right?
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah. So those, I think those are the best two if you're going to watch any of the sequels. Taste the Blood of Dracula, and plus the titles are great, and Dracula's Risen from the Grave. I do think there's one other one which I didn't get, was Dracula and the Seven Samurai or some shit like that. I can't remember what it's called. You know what I'm talking about?
I do, but I haven't seen it.
In the Seven Golden Vampires or something like that. Something along those lines. It's ridiculous. I love it. All right. Moving
So,
on from Dracula.
well,
Go ahead.
just real quick, I do love Dracula, Prince of Darkness. I also have a soft spot for Scars of Dracula.
Scars isn't bad. The worst
Yeah,
one, in my opinion, is the Satanic Rites of Dracula.
yeah.
But Scars of Dracula is not bad either. I think the middle bunch, which I believe is uh, Taste the Blood of Dracula. No, it's Dracula has risen from the grave, Taste the Blood of Dracula, and the Scars of Dracula in some order. Those three are the best three in my opinion. I think Prince of Darkness could be lumped in there, but when you get to 1972, which it's not great, but I have a lot of fun with it.
Mhm.
Reynolds oddly has a lot of fun with it. But when he gets into the future, because they kind of did a reboot of the franchise, brought him into the present at the time, that and the Satanic Rites were the worst two, in my opinion. I still find value in both, but you know,
Yeah.
anytime Christopher Lee graces us with his presence, it's a good time. But also, don't sleep on Brides of Dracula. That movie's awesome.
Okay, and before we move on from Dracula, I just want to give a final thought here between the Universal and the Hammer,
Hmm
and that is Hammer did so much better with Dracula as far as a franchise goes. I think
hmm
Universal, their their Dracula stuff is not great. It's probably like
No.
out of all the franchises, it's probably like one of my least favorites because they're so inconsistent. Again, like you mentioned, Bela Lugosi only plays Dracula twice. In one of them, I don't really,
Technically twice, yeah.
yeah, I don't really think counts. Of
Yeah.
course, with
Agreed.
Abbott and Costello, but like the Dracula one is weird because it's like okay, you have Dracula, and then you have Dracula's daughter, then you have son of Dracula, and it's kind of like a question of is it really the Dracula or is it maybe an actual son of Dracula? Um,
Mm.
and then of course you have like House of Frankenstein and House of Dracula. with Carradine playing the character. It's a very the Universal Dracula outside of the first film, which is fantastic, very hit or miss franchise. Whereas I think even with a couple of weak spots, the Hammer Dracula franchise is just far superior.
Oh, I might blow your mind with something I'm gonna say when we get closer to the end. But for my money, and this might be a hot take, I think John Carradine looked great as Dracula. I liked the way he looked. I mean, it wasn't the classic look. He's got the mustache. Like Dracula generally has a mustache. Like Christopher Lee played Dracula in a Jess Franco Spanish horror film called Count Dracula, and he got the boy with the mustache, which is the closest Christopher Lee ever got to being making a Bram Stoker novel movie. That
Well,
sounded dumb.
well, I mean, I think to, this is where I'm a little conflicted because I think you're right with Carradine. I
Hmm.
don't like the mustache look, but like I understand that's like I think Carradine's look was like closer to the actual Vlad. You know what
Hmm.
I mean? But one, those two films, like there's things I like about them, but there's a lot of things I don't, like House of Dracula and House of Frankenstein. Um, and especially with House of Frankenstein, he gets taken out so early on. Um,
Yeah, he's barely in the damn movie.
yeah, I don't know. I wish that I I wish that Bela continued to be Dracula,
Hmm.
because I think out of the Universal films, his Dracula is my second favorite Bela Lugosi character.
Yeah. I one more thing about Carradine. One of the things I think I like about him, and I forgot to mention this. I saw the Hammer stuff before Universal. Like my mom, I'm not sure how she saw him when she was younger. She was able to see the Hammer stuff, and so like I didn't see the Universal till I was about 14 or 15. I'd already seen like rentals of a lot, not all of the Hammer movies, but most like the important ones. But the thing about Carradine again is that he has this look about him. He's slender. He's got the high cheekbones. He's got his eyebrows have this like I don't know. He's got this creepy look, and I think Christopher Lee looks very similar to him without the mustache, but in many ways, and like the long face, and I don't know. I just like the way Carradine looked as Dracula. I wish we would have gotten a little bit more with him, but, like I'm conflicted, just like you. I want more Lugosi because
Yeah,
Lugosi's so good, but Carradine, I like the way he looked, and he wasn't terrible in his small
I,
time as well.
I'm curious, like what Carradine would have been like if he had
Hmm.
better material,
Sure,
because
yeah,
House
or
of
more
Frankenstein
material, easy.
has some decent moments to it. I don't really like House of Dracula at all.
No, it's probably
It's like the
it.
laziest Universal
It
film.
yeah, absolutely. That's a good way to say it. Definitely, it's one of the worst of all of Hammer's. I mean, Universal's cycle of all
Yep,
of their horror
yep,
movies.
I
In my
agree.
opinion, I've never ranked them. I should, but it's definitely one of the worst. Okay, moving on. You ready to move on?
I'm ready. Are we doing Frankenstein?
Sure. So yeah, Frankenstein is next. I should probably should have done Frankenstein first. I think Frankenstein. Well, Curse of Frankenstein was released before the Horror of Dracula. I can never remember if Frankenstein was released before Dracula. They were both released in 1931.
I think it was. I think.
I think it was too.
Yep.
So yeah,
But
of
still,
course, 1931's Frankenstein is it's good. It's really good. It's probably one of the top. I don't know. It's in the top lists of horror films of all time for sure. Colin Clive and his "It's Alive" is so iconic, and just Frankenstein in general, the monster, the look of the monster himself, Frankenstein's monster is so iconic. I mean, again, this is the prototype of what we all think of Frankenstein's monster to look like, you
hmm
know. And it's a great movie. It really is. I just do think, and we'll come back to the first movie. I think it gets overshadowed by its sequel because it's
yeah,
way better in many ways, and probably not as much, but in some ways, maybe even Son of Frankenstein, which is my favorite of the bunch. But going back to Frankenstein, let's hear what you have to say about this one.
Okay, so yeah, the 1931 Frankenstein is an expertly directed film. The direction and cinematography are just absolutely fucking beautiful. Uh, uh, what's his name? Colin Clive. Uh, he is also phenomenal in this movie. Boris Karloff is excellent as the monster. Um, there's just so many great things about this film. However, it does feel, because of the runtime, it feels almost kind of incomplete. And that's why I kind of love the package of this and Bride of Frankenstein. Like watching them both together, it feels like more of a complete story. Um, and because like I don't know, like what is it like 40 minutes into the movie, uh, we finally see the monster, or no, the monster finally escapes.
Yeah,
That's and and it doesn't get into any of the things really from the novel. There is the obviously the meeting the kid and that accident there, but Bride of Frankenstein I think helps add on to that because it gives more stuff of okay, the monster meeting the blind person, learning to speak, stuff like that. uh but yeah, the original Frankenstein, James Whale, uh, was a master director. Um, some of like my favorite shots of all time are in this movie with like, uh, you know, uh, I, I can't remember. I always get these two mixed up. It was Fritz in the original, right, and then Hans in the Bride.
hmm
Okay, yeah. Um, like the scenes with Henry Frankenstein and Fritz digging up the body in the beginning, just really well shot, very cool. Um,
yeah. I That's the vibes that gives off.
oh yeah, yeah.
Go ahead. I thought you had more.
Oh no, I mean it's just I mean it's a love fest for me. So like the reason why I mean I was so excited actually to talk about this particular subject tonight is because uh, similarly to, well, not similarly, but like as I was like how I compared the Universal Dracula franchise and the Hammer Dracula franchise.
hmm
This is a weird one for me just because like I think franchise as a whole, the Frankenstein Universal films are top notch. I mean, I'm talking Frankenstein, Bride of Frankenstein, Son of Frankenstein, even Ghost of Frankenstein, and Frankenstein meets the Wolfman. Just top notch stuff. And to the point where, like, when you get to House of Frankenstein and House of Dracula, it doesn't really affect my thoughts on it being probably Universal's best old horror franchise. And then you get to the Hammer side of it, and uh, that's my favorite Hammer horror franchise. I'm a little bit more familiar with the Frankenstein side than the Dracula side.
hmm
So, and they're great for different reasons. Like Frankenstein captures the sort of the Dr. Frankenstein who was sort of kind of caught up in his experiments and his ego, and he made a mistake. Whereas when you get to the Hammer side, we'll talk about that a little bit more when we get
Yeah.
there. But it's a complete 180 of it. So I love both of these franchises basically together because they just explore different versions of this particular story.
hmm And uh, you touched on the sequels, and like we did before, this it's hard to pick which has the better sequels in franchises because Bride of Frankenstein damn near eclipses the original Frankenstein movie, and in some ways,
Oh,
Dr. Pretorius,
yep.
the inclusion of the bride, who talk about iconic. looks. I mean, she's got like such an iconic look. I should have uploaded a picture, but we know what she looks like, and her reaction to seeing the monster.
Hmm.
And then of course, I don't know, maybe it's just me, but I'm in love with this movie.
No, it is
Lionel
not just.
Atwell.
It is
I
not
mean, come
just you.
on.
It is
Yeah,
not
it's
just you.
such a good fucking movie. I think it's a little under the radar, and it's definitely I don't it's not better than the other two. I will say that. I know that it's not. But it's I'm very partial to this one. This one's like when I don't know. I saw this, I was like, God damn, that was good. Like kind of surprised by time the third movie, like we saw with the Dracula movies, and I mean the Wolfman, which we'll get to, didn't get a fair shake really with sequels. But like by the time the third movie, look at the third Creature from the Black Lagoon movie.
Hmm.
In my opinion, not good. But this was good. This is on par with the other two.
That
And
100%. So it's like it it may not be as well directed as James Whale's first two films, but this film is on par with the first two films. I think Son of Frankenstein is arguably one of the better Universal monster sequels, and it gets overshadowed, I think, by Bride. And that's not a
yeah,
slam against Bride because Bride is an excellent film, but Son of Frankenstein is just amazing in terms of story. It feels more of a complete film.
hmm,
Uh, uh, what's his name? He plays Baron Frankenstein in this. Basil Rathbone.
Basil Rathbone.
Phenomenal performance from him. The most standout
Lionel
performance.
Atwell is really great in this too.
Yep, Lionel Atwell is fantastic in this.
Hmm.
The standout though for me is Bela Lugosi as Igor. He is
So I'm glad you said that because I want to ask you a question.
okay.
Best villain of all of the Universal movies.
Oh, it's got to be. I'm gonna go ahead and say Igor. Okay,
It's
and
got to be.
I'm gonna say I prefer. So this is my favorite Bela Lugosi performance. This is my favorite Bela Lugosi Universal
Well,
monster.
he gets so much more to do than like Dracula is his most iconic performance for sure.
Hmm.
But this movie, he plays them like a fucking fiddle. He's so well, Frankenstein anyway, like a fiddle. He's so good and so dangerous as a character. I mean, they
Yeah,
can't even kill the guy
yeah.
for God's sakes. His
Well,
best
he has,
performance.
I
Yeah,
think, a phenomenal arc going through this, and then goes to Frankenstein.
yeah, for obvious reasons, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and this was our last. Was this? No, no, we got one more with Karloff, right?
No, this is the last
This is the
Son of
last Karloff.
Frankenstein.
Okay.
Son of Frankenstein is the last Karloff. I think was it was it Glenn Strange that played him in Ghost, um, or was it Lon Chaney Jr.? I can't remember now.
I don't remember. Like by after Karloff leaves the role, I have a hard time remembering who plays who or who plays what. Because they, I mean, they take basically the appearance of what Karloff looks like and just put it on somebody else. Because three or four people play the
Hmm.
role after that. Lon Chaney Jr. does it. Uh, what's his name? You just said his name.
Oh, Glenn Strange.
Glenn's yeah, Strange, yeah, and Lugosi and Frankenstein meets the werewolf, which and Glenn Strange, I think Glenn Strange was the later one, wasn't he? In like House of Frankenstein and all that.
I'm
'Cause
pretty sure. Yeah, I want to
I think
say
Ghost of Frankenstein was Lon Chaney, and then Lugosi's in Frankenstein meets the Wolfman.
yep.
I think that's how it goes.
Which was oh my god, talk about a huge missed opportunity. I understand that when they did test screenings, people were laughing at Bela Lugosi's voice,
Hmm.
but it makes so much perfect fucking sense, considering that Igor manipulated events to put his brain inside the monster. Um, and as a result, he went blind.
Yeah.
And then because of the audience reaction to him speaking in Frankenstein meets the Wolfman, they took out all of his lines, and so you lose the context of the fact that the monster is blind because of the transplant from Ghost, and and then you get to where he's like walking around like this, which has now become like a parody of the Frankenstein monster. Um, but like it would have been perfect for Bela Lugosi to play the monster, given the way that Ghost of Frankenstein ends.
Mm-hmm. Yes. And well, we got what we got, and it's like over almost 100 years old. So uh I got a movie I want to mention once we get through the Wolfman, but let's talk about let's get out of Universal and get into the best Frankenstein movie ever made. Um, in my opinion, yeah, I know, right? I know you may agree with me, but that's also like if I said that to the Horror Syndicate people that this is better than Bride or the Frankenstein from 1931, I'd be crucified. But this is the best Frankenstein movie ever made, in my opinion.
Well, here's what I say to those people: fuck yourself. Yeah, because Curse of Frankenstein is the best Frankenstein. Um, period. It's the best Frankenstein film. Period. Okay. It, Peter Cushing as Victor Frankenstein, the best Victor Frankenstein ever on screen. No one's ever gonna touch him.
I hope
And
not.
the
I mean, we got a
the
new one
great
coming out this
thing
week,
about
by the
the,
way.
which I'm excited to see, by the way. But here's what I love about Hammer's take on Frankenstein. It's not about the monster. It's about the man.
No,
Even the man is a
exactly.
monster
Yes,
himself.
100%. This movie is about Frankenstein, not Frankenstein's monster. Like the first time I saw this, I was ready to see Christopher Lee as the monster. Like that was like my biggest thing. I cannot wait to see Christopher Lee. And you do, but
Barely in
like
it.
it's not about him. It's about uh, Peter Cushing's Frankenstein being so obsessed with his work, like
And evil.
he murders people flat out in his
Yep.
own house. He throws a guy off of a fucking balcony, basically, just for his brain. He treats his woman like garbage. Like Colin Clive's Frankenstein didn't do anything like that, really. Like,
He,
I mean, he was consumed by his work, but not like obsessed in like the way that because even his what's it is it? God damn it! Oh, I gotta look. Is it?
well, I mean, he cheats on his cousin
What's his
with his
assistant's
housewife.
name? Is his assistant's name's Paul, isn't it? In this,
Yeah, it is Paul. It is Paul.
what the fuck is wrong with them? So, because he's
It's
got Hans, I think later on as his
I'm pretty
assistant.
sure you're talking about the guy that kind of like works as a protege, right?
Yeah, well, I think they went to school together or something like that. But yeah, like his name, I think his name's Paul. But like even he sees his madness because that's Frankenstein is mad. He's playing God for God's sakes. And Peter Cushing is brilliant in this role, and he got to play Frankenstein for 6 movies.
Yep, and that's why this is my favorite Hammer franchise. Um, but again, like I love the idea of like taking the Victor Frankenstein character and making him evil, making him
Hmm.
an asshole. I mean, throughout this franchise, he gets progressively worse. I think
Well, I mean, he
he,
rapes
yeah,
somebody, so
he does. Yeah, he's a rapist.
yeah,
Um, yeah, I mean, goddamn, I love this franchise so much.
yeah. By the way, I did a ranking of this and the on the horrorsyndicate.com of the Frankenstein movies. Actually, I should look that up because um I don't remember what my ranking is because I was looking at them. The name, see the problem with Universal movies and this, well, not really Universal movies, but the Hammer movies for sure is the titles. I can never remember by the title because they're
It's
the
hard,
titles
yeah.
are, yeah, the Revenge of Frankenstein and The Frankenstein Must Be Destroyed. Great titles, but it's like which is which, you
Well,
know?
it's weird because I do remember Revenge of Frankenstein mainly because like that's the one that like, I couldn't find like a single Blu-ray release. I
Yeah,
had
that
to
was
get
hard to
like
get.
a double Blu-ray with like one of the Mummy sequels. And I felt like, and that one was like a direct continuation of Curse. And then after that, they kind of like the
He's Dr.
continuity was
Frank.
very loose. What's that?
He's Dr. Frank
Yeah,
or Dr. Stein. I can't remember because one of them he's Dr. Frank and one of them is Dr. Stein.
yeah,
So,
and
oh, here's my rankings. I don't consider the horror of Frankenstein in because it's not Peter Cushing. Uh, but I've got Frankenstein and the Monster from Hell at number 6.
yeah,
Uh, the
that's fair.
evil, the evil of Frankenstein at 5.
Hmm.
Frankenstein Created Woman at 4. And the thing is, I like that movie a lot. These four I like the best: Revenge of Frankenstein, Frankenstein Must Be Destroyed, and The Curse of Frankenstein at number 1.
Yep.
Those four are really good.
Frankenstein Must Be Destroyed. That's the one where like there's like that young couple that's selling drugs, right? And then like he like blackmails them. I'm pretty sure that's the one. And like there's like a scene where like there's like a they're trying to dispose of a body for him or whatever, and then like because of like some sort of like sewer break or whatever, like it starts to
Mm,
pop up and police are around.
yeah,
But Frankenstein Created Woman, that's a great one too.
yeah, and that's so. Going into the sequels, I was sorry, I was reading something when you said that. Um, these are the some of the best. You talked about Frankenstein Created Woman,
Mhm.
um, which is a revenge movie, really.
Yep.
It's a he basically makes the perfect woman out of this kind of tavern wench who's got a limp, and I mean she was pretty anyway,
Oh
but
yeah.
but a little limp and a little hunchback. He makes her into this perfect looking woman, and she basically goes after the guys who uh wronged her, basically.
Yeah. Well, not to interrupt you, but like I don't know if I mentioned this before, but I love the fact that it with like each film, it's like a new creation,
Hmm. Yeah,
with the
he's
exception of
always
one.
creating him.
There was one right that had the monster in it. Um,
Was that the last one?
I think it was what was it? The monster from hell or something like that.
Yeah, it's got David Prowse in it.
Yep. Which is easily, I think, the worst in the series, but one I still kind of like. It's watchable for me.
Yeah. Well, which I'm trying to think again. The goddamn movies, because there's this was I found this on DVD at fucking Big Lots of all places, but because there's one where he escapes the guillotine or whatever at the very beginning of the movie.
Yep, that's this one.
That's the second one, right?
Yep,
And so yeah, and then he goes to a
hospital, right?
hospital. Yeah, he starts working at because he works as Dr.
Yeah,
Frank or Dr. Stein. I can't remember.
yeah,
It's really, really good.
yep.
They're just
Crazy
the
ending.
titles fuck me up. I have to say. I'll be honest with you. The titles fuck me up because they kind of just get tossed into a blender, especially if you watch them all in a row. I will say though, I do think these and the two main sequels of the Universal series are both they're on par. I just think overall the Frankenstein he's on the run constantly
Mhm.
throughout each movie, but he's not like learning from his mistakes. He just keeps creating more mistakes.
He's a total asshole, and that's why I
He
love him.
is. He's so obsessed with his work that it doesn't matter if he's going to get his neck in a guillotine or whatever it is.
Yep,
He's going to continue to try to create, try to
yep,
play God, you know.
yep.
And Peter Cushing, he doesn't like he was phenomenal in Curse of Frankenstein. but like he no matter how kind of goofy they might have gotten or how dark they got, he was really good. Regardless, this guy, I remember Christopher Lee and Peter Cushing. He would comment on Christopher or Peter Cushing's note taking on for each scene that he was in. Like he would script on the script, he'd write all these extra notes about the character and what he's doing. It's just like Peter Cushing's a consummate professional. He's excellent too. I love him. And to
Yeah,
think, I first saw him in Star Wars.
yeah, I know. Same here. Um, yeah, because I didn't discover the Hammer films until like I was a teenager. Um, but Peter Cushing is Victor Frankenstein to me, and
Oh yeah,
the Hammer version is the version that I prefer. I love the Universal stuff, hands down. Again, I think it's the most consistent franchise of the old Universal monsters.
yeah,
Uh, but so I got love for both like equally, and they both have strong suits for both sides of it. You know what I mean? Um, but yeah, I gravitate more to like the Hammer Frankenstein than I do the Hammer Dracula, which I do like all the Hammer Dracula films, but the Frankenstein, particularly because of Peter Cushing and that take that they decided to go with by making
yeah.
him
And I'm hoping with these action figures, I'm hoping the Van Helsing now. Why can't we get a Frankenstein? I mean,
if
you
they,
got yourself a Frankenstein and this monster, and that'd be such a great set. You already got
if
the head.
if they do that and you notice it, you gotta send me a link ASAP.
Oh, you know, I'll try to keep. I try to keep you in the loop.
I have like all the Universal figures from NECA.
I need to get those. I like the ones you know me, I'm collecting all the DC stuff like crazy. But like
Yeah.
the ones I have for NECA or NECA, I have all the Friday the 13th Jason Voorhees figures they've released. They've recently released the Pamela, which I'll probably end up getting as well. And I've got the 2018 Halloween and Halloween Kills Michael Myers, and I just bought the Halloween 6 Michael Myers. So I'd like to go back and get, if I can find them, at least Dracula and Frankenstein's Monster and the Bride. Those are the only three I really want. The Wolfman I wasn't that impressed with. He was fine, but yeah, I'm not as hard up for Wolfman as you are. You literally want his nard.
Well, you also got to get the Howlin figure. You know, the one that you found this
Yeah,
morning.
that thing is impressive.
Yep. And you got to get that 2 pack of David Kessler and Jack Goodman from
For what?
There's
What
a
is it?
2 pack that they put out of David Kessler and Jack Goodman from American Wolf in London.
I'll leave that to you. I don't care about American Werewolf in London as much as you do.
Bastard.
Yeah. So speaking of werewolves, let's talk about the Wolfman.
Yeah, it's an okay film.
All right, and that's our show for the night. No, this movie is fantastic. Like it's probably number 4 on all of the. If I had to rank all of my Universal movies, I'd put it at number 4. The only reason is because I like Dracula a lot, and of course, Frankenstein and Bride of Frankenstein are they're irreplaceable. Is at least in the top 2 or 3. So it's a solid 4. At least it's not a 2 like a turd. What's up? I know you love this movie.
Yeah.
And like I watched it recently again at the beginning of the month, and I was a buzz after watching. You remember I was like buzzing off of this, so I
Yep.
watched this and Curse the Werewolf back to back,
Yep.
and like something about the Curse of the Werewolf and watching the Wolfman back to back really just set me into a frenzy about these movies and how good they are, and how similar but different they are.
Hmm.
And Curse of the Werewolf, which I've always liked, which is of course the only werewolf movie from Hammer.
Hmm.
They're very different, but it gave me new appreciation for this, especially because how similar they are. And what I mean by they're similar is how they are, ultimately dispatched. I guess is the best way about it. By the way, Van Helsing steaks are wood; they're not plastic.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, I you have to get this. Um, but like the ending of the both movies are heartbreaking endings. Heartbreaking.
Well, they're
Uh,
both tragedies.
exactly. Yeah, and that's my favorite kind of werewolf. Like just like David in An American Werewolf in London, that was a
Yeah.
tragedy. Like
Yep.
everything about what happened to him is a tragedy. Very different from my one of my favorite werewolf movies, The Howling, because they were all relishing in the pleasure of being werewolves and all that stuff. But like Lon Chaney acts his ass off,
Yep.
and I can see why he became their go to guy for everything because he was the Wolfman. He played the monster. He played uh, what's his name? Help me
Well,
out.
he played Karis.
Yeah, that's who I'm thinking of. He played, yeah, and he played the son of Dracula or Dracula. Like he got to be just about everything, and he's just so good at it. There's something about I noticed with his eyes. His eyes tell a lot of the story. When you see him in, I think it's is it. Oh, this is the one I was going to put as the sequel. Uh, is
Yeah.
this the one with the gypsy girl and he's talking about how he's cursed and he just wants to die?
Yeah.
Yeah, so there's his performance in this movie is a masterclass, in my opinion, in tortured acting.
Hmm.
He is so good in Frankenstein meets the Wolfman.
Yep.
But
100%.
go back to the Wolfman. I want you to tell me, why you love it so much.
Well, it's my favorite Universal monster film. I may have a slight bias towards werewolves. Um, but again, I think it comes down to Lon Chaney Jr.'s performance, and also the writing of the film too, because it is a tragedy. It is about a man who is likable, although maybe doesn't quite understand the word no, um, and
Doesn't understand what?
he doesn't quite understand the words no.
Oh no,
Uh,
he doesn't.
but he's like a likable guy. He's got his whole life ahead of him, and then uh, while trying to save someone from being attacked by a wolf, he is inflicted, and then he has guilt about what he becomes. Uh, I think there's some great moments, so especially of the Wolfman running through the woods and the
Hold
mist.
on, go. Let's go back for a quick second, and let's
Yep,
talk about why he becomes the Wolfman. Who is the wolf that bites him?
it is Bela the fortune teller, played by Bela.
Exactly. And who plays Bela, the fortune teller?
It is Bela Lugosi.
And what role is Lugosi famous for?
Uh, Igor, clearly.
Oh, stop.
Dracula, which
So who took over the
Dracula
role of
turns
son of
into Wolfman
Dracula?
Bat.
Like who took over? That's funny to me because you've got Lugosi playing the initial Wolfman. Essentially, you don't really see, and then you've got him playing Dracula, and then you got Lon Chaney Jr. playing uh son of Dracula or Dracula, and then he ends up being the Wolfman after Lugosi. I just
Well,
find that interesting.
yeah. Well, here's another fun fact for you, though, is like Lon Chaney Jr. is the only actor across the Universal monster spectrum, the only actor to consistently play the same character for multiple movies.
Yep.
Both Dracula, Karis, uh, the Frankenstein monster, uh, they're all played by different people. I guess you could probably, well, yeah, you could. I guess you could say, Rico Brown and Creature from Black Lagoon, but that's only three movies. Lon Chaney Jr. played Larry Talbot for five movies. So it was always consistently him throughout.
Yep, it's fantastic. He is really, really great. By the way, here's an update on took his head off. He's holding the cross. Uh anyway, yeah.
Little Padre,
So huh?
so little head Padre.
I got two heads. You
I
know
was
what's funny is
referencing
I could put Dracula's head on
first.
this body. Let's give him the disheveled hair. He comes with a torso too. Look, he comes with a torso and three heads. I could put the torso on there where it's just him without the coat on, but I got to keep the coat on.
The American Werewolf in London ones I have, the Jack Goodman one also comes with like, you, so it could be either regular Jack or you could do like the different stages of decayed Jack.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah,
That's funny. I
yeah.
like when they do stuff like that. Makes it special.
Hmm.
Yeah, the disheveled head. How about that? You can barely see it because of the light, but
Yeah.
get the shovel head. Anyway, I'm gonna stop playing with my toys. So, talk about Frankenstein meets the Wolfman.
Amazing sequel, like hands down. Um, Not only in terms of like the return of the Larry Talbot character, love the little things like how he has the scar on his head, which he
Hmm.
never has in any film after this. I love the return of Maleva, uh, the the gypsy slash mother of Bela,
Yep.
um, which brings up something for me is like, well, if Larry Talbot can die, then does that mean Bela is still alive? Um, just something to think about. Um, yeah, and
Oh
it's just
yeah, that's a good point.
yeah, and I think it's just an amazing film. It's like it on the surface, it may feel like it's the gimmicky crossover, but it's really not. This is 100% about the Larry Talbot character struggling with this curse, learning that his father died after he technically did, and just wanting to be over with it. And so he seeks out Elsa Frankenstein. Um, I'm a little confused if it's the same Elsa Frankenstein from Ghost of Frankenstein. I think it's
I
supposed to
think it's
be.
supposed to be. I don't know if it's the same actress, but I'm pretty sure it's
Yeah,
supposed to be.
yeah.
I always took it that it was.
But it's funny too because uh, Baron Frankenstein's wife and son of Frankenstein is also named Elsa. So that was a little confusing. But anyway, Frankenstein meets the Wolfman. I think it's just an excellent sequel to the Wolfman. It's probably the closest we'll ever get to a direct sequel to the Wolfman, because after that it's more about the crossovers with Larry Talbot being the most consistent character. Um, but yeah, this is a fantastic film. This is one of my favorite Universal monster films, and I think it's very well written and less gimmicky than one may think just by reading the title. Oh, that's awesome.
1981. Yeah. I wonder how old he is.
I was well, when American Werewolf in London came out in 1981, I was -2.
I was one. So wrapping up this, we go on to Hammer Horror's Curse of the Werewolf, which is Oliver Reed is really good. It's a weird movie because it starts off in France, right?
Mm.
And it's the king or whatever he is, his birthday, and he treats this like beggar guy like shit, makes him dance for him and all this other shit. And he ends up putting him in the dungeon. Eventually, this beautiful servant girl, who's one of the most gorgeous women of all time, with tremendous breasts, ends up getting locked in there with him. And
Stupendous.
huh?
Stupendous.
Stupendous, yes. Oh my God, I got remind me Friday the 13th, 2009. Before we get off of here,
Okay.
Um, but yeah, but anyway, and Oliver Reed's character is born, whose name I can never remember, but he's given up, and these farmers end up taking him in, or not farmers. Uh, he kills like lambs and shit on the farm. Anyway, and he grows up and eventually becomes a werewolf, and his father has to shoot him at the end of the movie in the bell tower, which is probably like the only time he really wolfs out that you get to see. And he looks amazing for 1961 or 62, I think. Uh, this is one that you don't talk about as much. I don't know if you've done a show on this or not. Where are you on this movie? Like, what are your thoughts of it? I love it.
So I've only seen it, I think, a total of twice my entire life. I'm due for a rewatch. I do like
You need
it.
to do what I said, back to
Yeah,
back.
no, I definitely should, especially since I'm going to see the Wolfman Thursday night at the on the big screen. But like, I think it's good, right? So like, unlike Dracula and Frankenstein, um, the Wolfman's not based on a novel, so this was Hammer kind of doing their version of the Wolfman, and they were free to just do whatever they wanted. And this is a very kind of a slow burn film, because it basically extends the entire life of this guy, right? It's like from his, you know, conception to his death, right? And that's very unique in and of itself. Um, I'm not overly familiar with this film. I've only seen it again like twice, I think, in my entire life. Um, but I do remember enjoying it. I do want to cover this on Werewolf Weekly, which I definitely should do. Um, but I think the werewolf design here, it looks great. This is a great sort of like updated kind of take on the Jack Pierce look. Yeah, and then it's great that when they did the 2010 Wolfman, they kind of homaged it a little bit.
I think what they did with the 2010 Wolfman, which I wish I had a picture of that, is I feel like it's an amalgamation of the two looks.
Yeah, it totally is. Totally.
Yeah, because he's still got kind of the dog nose almost, but his fur around his face is very similar to the Oliver Reed werewolf. Yeah, I think they're very similar between the two of them, and that's definitely gets an honorable mention here because it is technically universal, um, and it's a phenomenal. I don't want to call it a remake.
It's not a remake. No,
It's got similarities, characters and such, but it's its own movie. The 2010
absolutely.
Wolfman.
Well, again, because like I mentioned, like unlike Dracula and Frankenstein, Wolfman is not based on novels. So this was Hammer doing their version of Wolfman and keeping it at a distance enough to not get sued by Universal.
Exactly. Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
and kind of find a.
But not
But
have to pay them in
that's not
general.
even a bad thing either. Like they were finding their own path. You know what I mean?
Mm, yeah. And I did it. They did a great job because there's some lulls in this movie, but you kind of get to know the characters really well.
Hmm.
You grow up with Oliver. I can never remember his name. Oliver Reed's werewolf character. I should look it up, but I'm not gonna. You get to kind of grow up with him from when he's an infant,
Yep.
and you get to like him and his mom and dad, and even some of the townsfolk. And by the end of the movie, it's very kind of heartbreaking what happens to him. He goes on this little rampage, and the only person that can stop him is his adoptive father. It's kind of the same ending in the Wolfman, where who kills Talbot, or well, not kills because he comes back, but
Yeah. Well, the again, that's what I do think stands out for Curse of the Werewolf is the fact that like we literally begin with his conception, right? The intercourse that spawns him, right? So it's like literally his entire his entire life from beginning to end. I think that's what
Mm,
makes it unique, and uh, it is just as tragic as the Larry Talbot story, but in a different way.
mm, yeah, it is a tragedy. I mean, that's one of the things I like when if for a werewolf movie is the tragic werewolf. You know,
Yeah,
it's the way to go for me. The party animal werewolves are fun, but just a little bit. Uh,
and no, I'm not from New York. I'm from Vermont.
he's
Uh,
just a Bills fan.
so like basically like there's a lot of people like in my town that are Patriots fans. Um, because of the New England thing, but I've been a diehard Buffalo Bills fan since I was a kid. I've endured a lot of years of the suck, and I
You
am
don't
not a
know
bad.
anything about pain when it comes to teams, Seth.
I know you're Raiders
The
fans.
Raiders are the 31st in winning percentage since 2003.
I just
Okay,
well,
30. The only team worse than them is the Browns.
I just wanted to make it clear. Like I understand your pain, Ray. I
No,
just
you
wanted to make
don't. You've been to the playoffs numerous times. You have a quarterback that is on another level, an MVP. Meanwhile, we got a quarterback who threw 67 fucking yards last week.
listen.
6-7.
No. You're misunderstanding what I'm saying. I do understand your pain. I just wanted to make it clear. I was just painting a picture of the fact that
I think that's
I'm not
wrong.
wearing this that I've had for years just because Josh Allen is the quarterback. I got this back when I think Ryan Fitzpatrick was the quarterback. So
It's magic.
I'm not a bandwagoner who all of a sudden loves Buffalo. I've been there for the tough years.
Wow, you're old, Dad.
Shut the fuck up, kid.
I I've always liked Buffalo as well. I mean, when they were in the Super Bowl the 4 times and lost, I was rooting for them.
I
So
know. Yeah.
there's only one game that I can remember not rooting for them when they're in the playoffs, and then they played the Raiders.
Mhm.
So and beat the Raiders. So yeah, my son has a Josh Allen jersey.
That's awesome. I want to get one
Mhm. It is what it is.
because Josh Allen
Uh,
rules.
and Jim Kelly drools. No, that's not
Well,
true.
I mean, Jim Kelly made it all the way, but I think Josh, I think, is a better athlete.
Probably, I think most athletes today are better. Raiders lost. Raiders are the lost Super Bowl.
That's kind of funny.
A lot of teams have lost Super Bowls. Nobody's lost 4 in a row. Oh wait,
Ooh, Ray, that hurts my heart.
Ugh.
No, oh wait, I gotta rephrase. I gotta quote
The
Silver Bullet.
Raiders have won 3 of them. So just
I
saying.
gotta quote Silver Bullet. Ooh, that hurts my parts.
I absolutely hate the Chiefs, NFL's team
Yeah.
with a passion. That's Jared's favorite team. Jared, who we've not seen in many years. Um, so my daughter, loving Supernatural as she does, she's obsessed with Jensen Ackles and Jared Padalecki. So she wanted to watch Friday the 13th, the
Oh,
2009 version, of course, because Jared Padalecki's in it.
yeah.
Clay Miller, of course. And she liked some of the movie, but overall did not like it because of the gratuitous nudity. She's like, I don't want to see girls' boobs. I'm like, that makes one of us.
Can't relate, kid.
And I can like, well, the scene, like the first scene, where the guy is like, she's like teasing him, I want to fuck you, all that stuff, Like I was like, that's not even the worst part sexually, and then their girl, jet skiing topless, whatever, and then it gets to that scene with the stupendous breasts, and I'm like, oh god, she's gonna hate this part. And the worst part is it's cut in between a bunch of stuff, so there's no fast forwarding through it.
Yeah.
But
Are
I
you
don't know.
gonna
She just
show
likes.
her?
She ended up watching My Bloody Valentine all by herself.
Oh, okay. I was just gonna ask that if you showed
Yeah,
her
she
that.
liked it. It was on
Yep.
Tubi, and she watched. I was like, I have it. Actually, you could have just watched the
Yep.
Blu-ray.
Well,
But
Jensen's good in that.
yeah, she said that he's really good in that.
Yep.
I'm surprised that I know that they had a commitment to Supernatural, but I'm surprised they didn't do more because they're both pretty strong actors overall.
Yeah, well, I
Uh,
mean, especially Jensen, I think he's got like the most range. Like he can flip from like comedy to serious badass just like that.
Something about his voice though, that's why I can't see him ever playing Batman.
Yeah,
I
it's
like
true.
I can't do his voice. Like I watched the when he does the Batman in the animated stuff, and I can hear him saying Sam, Sammy. You know, that's like I can still hear it. I'm like I can't. I know that's fucking Jensen Ackles. You know what I mean? Like
It's also kind of funny too, like how his voice changes in Supernatural. Like when he first, like the first season, like his voice is like very normal. Then as like
mhm.
it progresses, he's like more gravelly. You know what I mean? Sammy.
Like, he's getting older,
Yeah,
and more of a tough guy. I've never cooked a pork roll. Have you ever cooked a pork roll?
I don't cook. I mean, I'm great at doing frozen hot dogs and boxed macaroni and cheese, but not much of a chef.
I make really good spaghetti. We're gonna do Friday. We're gonna do I make meatballs and stuff like that. Make meatball subs, and my meatball subs are fucking scrumptious. Uh, I made an amazing turkey sandwich yesterday on a hoagie roll. It was really good.
Nice.
I'm not much of a cook either. My spaghetti's good. I make a good meatloaf. I love meatloaf. My mom, before she passed away, she's like, "Is there anything you want like from the house?" I'm like, "Yeah, just teach me how to make your meatloaf and your spaghetti, and I'll be golden." And she did. She made a really good taco salad too, but I took the lettuce out of it because I don't like lettuce, and my taco salad is pretty good. So, but yeah, that's all easy shit. I'm not like pork roll. I don't know if that's a real thing either. My cousin can smoke some meat. So can my ex girlfriend. What's up? Hello, Sherry.
37 in a row?
37. Get back here.
Hey, don't go suck any dick on the way to the parking lot.
Yeah. So anyway, Van Helsing's open. I'm gonna put him next to his buddy Dracula. What do you got cooking for tomorrow? Freaks, I'm guessing. Or not tomorrow,
Yes.
whatever, Wednesday or Thursday. Well, no, Thursday you're doing Wolfman, right?
Yep.
So
Thursday, I'm
Freaks.
going to see the Wolfman on the big screen. Super excited for that. So tomorrow, for
Can't imagine
sure.
why.
Yeah, tomorrow for sure. I am going to be covering Howlin' Six, The Freaks for Werewolf Weekly. You know what? I like that one.
It's weird because like I
It's
feel
corny
like
as fuck.
it is, but I also feel like it's the most recognizable of the Howling movies. I don't know why, but when it came out on cable, it seemed like it was on all the damn time.
Mm,
He's going through the whole Howling series. That's why.
yeah.
Uh,
Every week I've been covering them.
and if you missed it, we did marsupials together.
Yep.
See,
I
I'm a
know
man of my word.
Matt commented on. He's done a couple comments like after the fact. I thought he commented on one of the Howlin' videos, but I don't remember. So he should know better that I've been doing each one individually. Not really looking forward to rewatching New Moon Line Dancing, but I'll fucking do it.
You'll power through. You'll be fine.
I'll power through it.
Yeah.
It's like I haven't seen it like 3 times already anyway.
And then we will do one more show next Tuesday. Howling Five is great. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. I like two also. But we'll do one more show next week. I can't remember what the topic's going to be on. And then I'm going to be taking a 2 month hiatus, at least 2 months, and come back hopefully fresh at the beginning of the year. We'll do. I'll try to see if Nate and Jared want to get in on this because Jared is still keeping track of his 2025 movies.
Oh, good.
He has, huh?
So good.
Yeah, he asked me if, and me and Nate, if something was considered a horror movie. I can't remember what it was, but I just saw. I know you did last summer, the other day, the 2025 version.
Mm,
Uh, It was the best I know you did last summer since the first one. That's not saying much though.
I really dug it until the final act. Like
Yeah, yeah.
that twist just pissed me off.
I really like Late Night with the Devil. That was my number 2 or number 3 last year. So far, I there's movies I have not seen. Weapons Together, Prom Queen, and a few others are still on my list. But my top 10 currently, I know you did last summer. VHS Halloween, Night of the Reaper, good movie.
I
Check it out
loved
on
it.
Shudder.
I
Yeah,
loved it. I loved it.
it's good. I
Yep.
may have to rethink my list. Number 7's Companion. Number 6 is Hard Eyes. 5, Death of the Unicorn. 4, Clown on a Cornfield, which was a lot of fun. 3, Sinners. 2, Final Destination Bloodlines. And The Monkeys in my number 1. 28 days later, 28 years later is number 13. It was boring. It was such a letdown. Bring Her Back.
Love that one.
I just didn't like it. That's one a lot of people are talking about. And Wolfman was terrible.
Yeah.
Oh, and Dangerous Animals. Nate really liked Dangerous Animals. I didn't care for it. But I've only watched 15. But this time I'm usually around 30, so I'm slacking for this year, and part of me doesn't care. So
I'm at 17 right now. A bunch of them are a bunch of horseshit werewolf movies that suck.
of course,
Um, but
the Babadook's good, but a lot of people hate it.
guilty.
It's a really good movie though. Overall, it's about despair and loss, and the kid's really annoying. Uh, the first Black Phone's good. I haven't seen the new one yet. I'd like to.
I'm actually looking forward to seeing Black Phone 2 because I actually dig the fact that they're going Elm Street with it. Like,
Yeah, I don't know anything about it. I haven't seen a trailer for it.
oh, you haven't? Okay, well,
Mm-mm.
yeah. So, uh,
You ruined it.
the
Van
grabber
Helsing
has a,
judges you. He judges you.
the grabber has a kid.
Okay. Yeah. So, real wooden steak. Anyway, yeah, we'll do a show next week, and then we'll do a show. Seth will, I guess he's continuing with Werewolf Weekly the rest of the year. I'm gonna make him a brand new opening very soon, uh, showing
Can't
the
wait.
new logo and all that stuff. I'm gonna see if Jay can touch that up a little bit.
I can't wait to see it, buddy.
Yeah,
And
we'll see what he can do.
we gotta get the new logo on shirts.
Yeah, I mean for you because nobody buys our shirts.
Well, I'll buy a few Werewolf Weekly stuff.
That'll probably get gross us about $6. Yes.
Hey, $6 more than you have now, right?
$6 that'll go straight to the website funding.
Hey, it's a dog eat dog world.
It's a dog sniff, dog butt world.
Yeah, basically.
Anyway. Anyway, everybody have a great night. We'll see you next week.
See you
Guess
next
what?
Tuesday.
See you next Tuesday. Evil